Hi, good evening. This is Elisa once again, Marketing Director at World System Builder. So, for tonight, I will be giving a workshop on the Blue Book, which we call the Saving Your Future book. Okay, um, let me share my screen with you first. All right. So our workshop for tonight is about this book. Okay, this is a book that has sold already over 1 million copies. Okay, right now it's at 1.5 million copies already. So it has like basic principles of building a financial foundation. So it's Finance 101 explained in a very, very simple language. Okay, so let's go to page 1, introduction. So, according to the recent surveys, North Americans are facing serious financial challenges. In Canada, 35% of Canadians do not have any savings or investments. All right. Only 27% of private sector workers have an employer funded pension plan. The average savings in registered retirement savings plans or RRSP is only $55,000. Okay, so how can you survive with just $55,000 for retirement, right? Because a lot of people don't even know that this exists. I was just talking to my sister in Canada just a while ago, and she said it was already too late that she knew about this one. And no one told her about this one like 20 years ago. So now that she knew about it, okay, she's now maximizing her contribution and she's telling younger people to do the same thing. So it's really very important to get the financial education because no one teaches us about this one in schools, okay? And then when we learn about it, it's too late. Okay, now in the US, the US picture is even gloomier. 33% or more than 77 million of Americans don't pay their bills on time. Okay, I was one of those before. Okay, 39% carry credit card debt from month to month. Only 59% of adults say they have savings. Okay, imagine that, right? Worse, more than half now think it is acceptable to default on their mortgage if they can't afford to pay it. Okay, so it is ironic that we live in one of the wealthiest countries in the world, but we always have money problems, don't you think? So we can work hard all our lives but retire poor. So as you can see, there's a lot of people still working even if they're already old because they don't have enough money for retirement. Okay? We do so much to raise our kids just to see them finish college with a lot of debt. So that becomes a way of life. Okay? We don't have much and we don't know much. Nobody teaches us how to manage our money in school. So financial issues are not often discussed and financial products not always explained. Most people have trouble balancing their own checkbook and reading a financial statement. We use credit cards every day and don't always understand all the hidden charges. Then we buy life insurance or insurance policies and stick them in a file cabinet, right? Who's guilty about that? I'm guilty before, okay? I don't even know what kind of life insurance I have. And then we contribute to our 401k or RRSP and hope someone, okay, will explain that to us. So really, a lot of people lack the financial education, okay? And my goal is to teach people how to be financially literate and how to manage your own finances, okay? Without paying other people to do that for you, okay? So, the new world. So how are we now? And let's look at our history from the past, okay? So, millennials, turbulence marked the new millennium. As the last hours counted down to the year 2000, the fear of the Y2K computer bug threatened to wreck world order into cyber chaos. Remember that year 2000, right? We thought it was the end of the world. Okay. By mid-March of that year, the dot-com bubble burst, sending the stock market into free fall. So a lot of people lost millions of dollars in their 401k and in their market money. Okay. 1 year later, the September 11th tragedy ushered in a new reality of uncertainty and insecurity. Then in 2008, the world experienced another financial crisis. The US economy dragged under the Great Recession. Okay? The first decade of the new millennium was a lost decade for so many families. They suffered huge losses in home values, savings, retirement accounts, and worst of all, their employment. A massive number of people went into bankruptcy and foreclosure. Millions gave up hope, looking for work. While these turbulent times may have been more pronounced in the US than in Canada, average Canadians were not immune to the impact of declining markets and a less certain future. Although the US economy is now recovering, the aftermath carries on. Today, there are 76 million baby boomers, people born between 1946 to 1964. Every day, 10,000 of them turn 65. Many of them were hit hard by the financial crisis. Many more struggled to survive because they did not prepare for retirement. How about the Generation X? That's me, born between 1965 to 1980, are middle-aged adults. They are worried about keeping their jobs and paying growing bills. Many of them are sandwiched between the burden of taking care of their own family and helping their parents. Okay, yeah, I've experienced this one. Okay, I was one time helping both of my parents and then also supporting my family. So I don't have time to take care of myself. So I was not really able to plan for, contribute more on my retirement funds. Okay. Millennials, okay, those born after 1980 are faced even bigger hurdles with the new economy. As the labor market becomes global, companies are increasingly sending their operations overseas where labor costs are lower. In addition, more jobs are being replaced due to advances in software and automation. So technology and smart machines change so fast that worker skills may not be able to keep pace. Many people will be left behind or will have to settle for lower skilled jobs and temporary employment. So yeah, so you got to have a plan B, right? Because a lot of people now are hiring people from overseas. Okay. So what's the new awakening? After World War II, the second half of the last millennium presented a comfortable way of life. Most people grew up thinking if they could go to a good college, get a good degree, and find a good job, then when they retire, their union, their company, or the government would take care of them. Saving was not a priority. So towards the 1980s and the 1990s, money became more accessible through easier loans and credit cards. Spend now and pay later was the mantra. Consumer debt soared. Living with debt became the new norm. From college until old age, many people went through a lifetime of debt, beginning with student loans and on to credit cards, car loans, mortgages, etc. Perhaps the only good thing to come out of the last financial crisis is that more and more people are starting to pay attention to their personal finances. They want to understand how money works and rebuild their financial foundation. So I will stop here and I will be continuing this discussion of the Saving Your Future book in the coming days that I'm off from work. Um, and so I hope you'll be learning more of, how to save your future. Thank you so much for listening. You have a great night. Bye.